I'm Chase.
And I'm Timothy.
And this is Customer Service.
Whoa. That's your opener?
You know that dude from Tosh?
Oh, no.
It's an old internet video. It's like a really, really dainty kid. And he's standing in the mirror. He's going, "Gra-ta-ta-ta."
Is it you?
No, he looks like a kid who drives a Dodge Neon that doesn't have seatbelts and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the vibe. How are we doing? Sad day
Good.
today?
It's a very sad day, Timothy.
Yeah.
In complete seriousness, I learned this morning that Rich Homie Quan has passed. I am a massive fan, and I hope that those out there who know me will validate my feelings, because I hate when, you know, a celebrity or something passed and you're like, oh, I love them. And it's like, motherfucker, I've never heard you talk about Prince in the entire time that I've known you. You know what I'm saying? When
That
Prince
does
died,
happen a lot. Where
you know,
suddenly someone's the biggest Prince fan ever. You're like, never
it's
said
like,
anything
no,
about
you
Prince.
fucking aren't,
Yeah.
bro. You never even worn purple. You know what I mean? And that's all that I know about him is that he was a real sex guy and wore a lot of purple. So
Just like Grimace.
just like Grimace, bro. So rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. Earnestly, from the bottom of my heart, that legitimately
you're being
breaks my
serious.
heart.
I know
love
you really
Rich
like
Homie.
him.
For everyone out there listening, at the time of this airing, it'll be Friday. I urge you to go start. If you're unfamiliar with his catalog, obviously any of the Rich Gang material is great, but you should listen to, it's called Riches in Spirit. I believe it was his first full length he put out post, you know, his relationship ending with Young Thug. So if this at all piques your interest, I think Riches in Spirit is a truly stellar, don't need to skip a single tune, front to back is awesome. I would just start there. So legitimately sad. Rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan.
Yeah, I don't claim any sort of like real hip hop knowledge. I think I've got loose opinions on a handful of things. But as someone who is one of those people, being Young Thug, obviously very to a certain degree in bed with each other as far as like of like projects they've worked on. Like that's how I know of him. And he is one of the ones that was doing something. I think the only thing I ever look for I didn't grow up with tons of hip hop or anything. I mean, we also kind of lived in a bad time, in a bad period of hip hop.
Yeah.
But you know, I really care about the guys that were like pushing and innovating a little bit. And he's definitely, no doubt, one of those. So it is a massive bummer.
Yep. You know, it's just a real bummer.
They already got Thug. And now if he's
already
gone,
got Thug, and
they take Future away, I'm out.
Oh, dude, if they take Future away, bro.
Yeah.
I'm arguing for anarchy because this is horseshit.
We're done.
What I mean? We're done. But there was even an interview that I saw of Rich Homie Quan, and obviously there's been a lot of strife between him and Young Thug, and it's always been a drama. It's a thing, you know what I mean? And him being like, "Hey, free Thug too." He even said, "Get Jeffrey out of jail." Yeah. So whether you give a fuck about, I don't care. Go pay respect. Listen to Riches in Spirit front to back. Go show some love. So it's a sad day today on Thursday, September 5th here in Boulder, Colorado.
Well, bummer. So let's try to we'll shift gears here.
We will shift gears. Let's chat, bro. So I want to hear about your weekend.
What's crazy is I was just thinking about that, being like, oh my God, it's Thursday as the recording
I know,
of
man.
this.
I know.
It doesn't feel like we've even had a week. We went through Labor Day, so nuts.
Yeah.
Very busy. Thank you to all who ordered and shops with us. And
Yeah,
does the things.
For real, thank you, because
really showed out.
You kept us busy. Brondo came in on Saturday morning. He got some orders packed. I came in early Monday morning. We were able to get on top of it, get all the orders out. I'm gonna toot our horn a little bit and say, you know, it never felt crazy, because I think we've been working hard over the last year to put processes in place. So I'm proud of us for that. Felt good to kind of do it and not feel like I was drowning, you know? So it was awesome. We had a really solid Labor Day. A lot of people copped some good shit. And
you were ill, trying to take everyone down with you.
Yeah. You might still hear it in my voice a little bit. I was unwell last week, and then I'm still unwell. And unfortunately, Chris is now ill, and then Chirabo. So we should We should have him bop in here one of these days. If we're recording a pod and he's here, I want him to come on.
Yeah.
So he's doing videography work for us. He is a younger fella, and we all love him.
Yeah, he delivers.
I really love him. So he went out of town, and maybe he got a little sick out of town too. But I worry he may have caught the cheddar bug too. So
Cheddar bug.
cheddar bug. But Mashan's got it, and we're all feeling unwell. It's just, man, like,
No, quit lumping me in. I'm good.
You're good, actually.
I beat it.
we need tomorrow. I might go down to Wonder and get more of those flu shots. There's, what?
Take them for fun.
So maybe we talked about them on the pod. I was going to say it's just fun. There's a juice bar down the street that does shots, little vials.
We're not going to blow anyone's mind with this. It's just ginger, cayenne, and lemon. You know what I mean? It's like the classic.
Oil of oregano.
Oh, they do put oil of oregano.
Yeah.
Have we talked about this on here already?
I'm not sure if we have.
This is where my idea for I want there to be more non-alcoholic shots that you can take like this.
That's what I was going to say is we can talk about this as well. I think health supplements and pills and is propaganda, and it's a bunch of bullshit.
No.
And
just to be clear, he has been sick for a very long time, and he doesn't take anything, and then basically just hacks up a lung for ages and doesn't do anything about it.
You want me to tell you what does work?
That doesn't work.
Extra pulp orange juice. That's
Jesus
the only
Christ.
actual medicine on this fucking planet. So
Yeah,
I'm being
sugar
half
down
serious.
your throat too.
I'm being half serious.
Ding dong.
I'm being half serious.
I am all for if you were coming at me and be like, look, I'm just all about like herbal, like natural, homeopathic, great, dude. Cool.
I just
think that's the best place to start as far as preventative nature goes.
What you should do then is you should go to a farmer's market, and you want to get some of that shit. You should get it from a person who grew the shit and did it, because
you don't
buying.
Have to talk to me, man. I'm got Manuka honey. I got the local shit going. I got buckwheat honey that I'll just start scooping. That shit's nasty as hell. Just eat it raw.
See, and that's a whole product. So I believe.
And I
in
sauna
that.
every single day, so I get
Sure,
all of the garbage out of me. Like,
I believe in that too. But what I don't believe in, you go to Whole Foods and you see all those things that have this, that, the other in it. I think that's horseshit, and it's only percentagely true.
No. You got to know what you're doing. I think you have to do the education. You can't go in and just grab a bunch of random shit. But if you know what you're doing, because I think that some people will you do magnesium, but you don't do anything to activate it, or there's things like that. And sometimes if you're like doing something where you feel like you're like deficient in something, and you have to remember to like look it up and go, oh well, I need to take vitamin D with that, otherwise it won't work.
Otherwise it doesn't activate within your body. Sure.
I agree that most people are going in there with no knowledge of what they're doing, and then just putting a bunch of shit in. They don't know what they're trying to accomplish, and that's no good.
Random horse pills and capsules and shit that have all this, that, and the other. I think a lot of times it doesn't actually have that, and if it does, I think
you can read and learn which ones to use.
Witch
and
magic,
stuff like that.
you know what I mean? But what I'm getting at, Timbo, is this: I believe in that shot because it's fucking whole ingredients, and that's why I believe in the buckwheat honey and all your things, is because it's not. Lil Dibs is punching the air right now. It's not some weird chemical makeup that does this and that. It's like, no, it's fucking oregano that was turned into an oil. It's cayenne, it's garlic, ginger, all things that are immeasurable. You can go to the store and buy. There's no thing that you need in a powdered form or some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, if you get into some serious things like imagining the amount of what you'd have to consume to get the amount of fish oil that you actually need is like unrealistic.
You're saying the amount of fish you'd have to eat to get that fish oil?
More or less, yeah. Like things like that, you're like, you just eat an apple or whatever. It's like, yeah, you'd have to eat like 12 to get what you need, especially if in a situation where you're trying to give your body more than what it needs so that it can use it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to
you. I agree with you to a certain extent that you can't go in blind and just buy random shit and think that you're doing the right things, because I don't think it's true. And there isn't like miracle cures and things like that.
We all want the miracle, and that's just not the case.
Realistically, like the way you eat right now, you can look me in the eyes and you can tell me I'm not getting all the vitamins I need. There's no chance. It's hard to do to be very intentional. I'm not either.
I'm not arguing against that. I'm with you.
So to take a multivitamin to support the fact that like my diet isn't necessarily getting. Now, I think the more you can get out of that zone, the more you can be like, I'm very intentional with what I'm eating. I'm trying to eat mostly whole foods, but I just struggle with this, that, or the other, so I'm only taking that vitamin as opposed to a multivitamin. Now you're speaking my language. I don't think you should put things in that you don't need. Like if you're like, I'm getting tons of calcium from X, Y, or Z, I don't need to add more to that for no reason. Of course, I don't think you should be consuming things you don't need necessarily. But there's also a situation where it's like, yeah, I'm just not getting that in my in what I'm eating regularly, or like what I like and know that, because you can say like, oh, I'm trying to get more of X, Y, or Z, but you're not going to do it if you like, the only way to get it is broccoli and you hate broccoli. You're never going to eat enough to get what you need out of it.
No,
So
that's fair.
You just need to be, I think, very intentional and smart and more aware.
Yes.
There's no miracle thing. I don't think that.
That's all I'm trying to say is whatever that TV doctor you fucking watch that's peddling off this, that, and the other, keep in mind someone's making money from that.
Sure.
Go find.
You always find these very specific, strange, like, what TV doctor is anyone watching?
Fucking Dr. Drew, whatever his name is, man.
He's not on like, these guys aren't on TV anymore.
Yeah,
anything they're on Instagram.
What I'm saying.
It's these weird moms on Instagram. It's these hot moms on Instagram that are like, you got to, I just learned this thing, and you're like, you got to learn a little bit.
Go
more.
to the farmer's market, find the old lady with gray hair down to her butt in a braid, and she's gonna have what you need. She's going to have what you need. More than the fucking dude who has a degree in business and then suddenly got into holistic medicine because he can make money from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like 75% of the way there with
you.
I do agree that if you do more preventative stuff around being sick, and you don't do a bunch of the I'm sick, I feel sick, I'm so sick today, I don't feel well. I think that's, you got to just kind of pretend it's not there.
I think that's how I got everybody so sick, to be honest with you.
You can't, well, I was going to say, you talk about it a tremendous amount.
I do talk about it, but I have to, the shit I got to do. I figure,
I just think that like if you just like kind of force yourself to take a light walk, take a lot of really hot showers, sauna if you can, get anything out of you, tons of water, tons of like, ginger and, all that shit. I think that's the best stuff you can do. But I think you also got to be like, if I hear somebody being like, oh, I have a cough or I'm not feeling so great today, I will think about that when I go home, and then I will be like, all right, I'm going to take some of these things. I've got like these like immunity booster things. I might do that. I might try to eat like something with a lot of vitamin C in it. You just try to be mindful of like always like working ahead as opposed to like reacting to like, I am physically ill now. I have to. Yeah.
Let me pose to you a question since we're on this topic. I think it'll be a fruitful conversation. Like you said, to get the amount of omega, whatever, 3s, fish oils, etc., you'd have to eat an ungodly amount of fish every day, right?
Or yeah.
Okay, so who is telling you you're not able to get this amount of fish oil? And I'm saying, as the expert, you need to have X amount. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a supplement. It's $65 for 12 capsules. You got to do it for the rest of your life if you want to be healthy like we are. Do you see the flaw in that? Because I think also naturally,
classic, like, you point at like an evil that isn't real. Do you know what I mean?
So real, Timothy. It's so real.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying.
You got to be more nervous about different stuff than this.
I am, but I'm just saying the fact still stands that somebody's making money from it, and it's like, okay, maybe humans have evolved to have a deficiency in fish oils, but all I'm saying is
because our diets are shit.
Sure,
you can fix your diet, but it's like it's very difficult to do. I mean, it's just I'm just being realistic.
But the same person would be like, well, you don't want to eat too much fish because there's mercury in the fish, which I do believe in to an extent too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like kind of feels like no matter what you do, there's someone pushing you down a path to buy a supplement. And I just think that's bullshit, dude. I would eat those Flintstones vitamins, and that'd be about it. And beyond that, I'll drink more orange juice.
You're describing two things that have so much goddamn processed sugar in them, I can't even fathom.
All right. Remove, say it's 100% orange juice. Whatever the expensive orange juice is that has no added sugars.
That's not the right one. You got to go to a juice place that just put oranges in it, and it needs to cost like $18.
I'm not saying that naked juice orange is the move. I'm just saying I feel better if I drink 2 liters of orange juice in a day. And that's all I'm saying.
What's so funny to me is you've gone on this tirade maybe for the first time on video so people can see your eyes that you do to me while you're doing this, and it makes it feel so much. I don't even think I need to argue if it's this.
Like I've got something that you don't know. But
there's a man who's making money on the thing. It's always that.
Yeah. Hey. And you know what is?
Look,
I
don't
think I've got the answers. I just think that that's how I personally believe. That's just how I feel.
I think that people need to be active and preventative on things the best they can. They need to know what's right for their body. If you can afford to have tests done and stuff like that, I think you should do that. So
Yeah,
you can
if you
learn more
consume-
about, because everyone's unique. I think that, again, if you're talking about misinformation along the lines of not everybody is the same, sure. You know what I mean? Like you probably have a deficiency that I do not have, and I have a deficiency you do not have.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So being aware of those and trying to supplement where you can, you know what I mean? If it's
Yeah.
realistic, that's great. But it's also just can be the way that you developed or the way that your diet has, led you to a certain position. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean-
I've been trying to work on my gut health because I feel like it's dicked. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely just felt wrong for a while. So I'm just trying to work on that.
Yeah.
And I also assume if you work on that and just like do some active things that you can do to kind of cleanse and reset and, eat different and try to, drink extra water, do all the things you can, all the little like, home. Again, I don't go immediately to like look on Amazon to see what kind of pills I can buy to do that. You start with like, here's how I can make like long-term changes that would help that.
Yeah,
thing.
right on.
And you start there, of course, but you're also still going to be like, it would help if I had X, Y, or Z because I'm not getting, I'm not getting everything I can from this. And I think especially your argument starts to fall apart if you're like, yeah, I got shot, but if you just take that out and let the nature take care of it, that's just not the case. At some point you got to do something. You know what I mean?
Totally hear you.
I
just don't necessarily trust whoever it is that's out there telling me the information.
That's not what I'm saying to do. I'm saying do the research. You got to do
Fair,
research
fair.
on yourself, and you got to try some things. And I think you always should start out natural if you
Fair.
can. I'm all about going to the gray-haired lady.
Yeah.
If they don't have hair down to their butt, they're not the. You got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I also think at a certain point, if someone, I don't think everyone's out to get you. I think that's
I don't think that's it either. You know what I mean?
You just got to do that. You got to do. I think sometimes people hear one thing and they go, "That's my thing. I'm going to go on the soapbox about taking this one." And it's like, do you know, like what it's doing, like 100%?
Well, here, let me pose it to you in another thing that I know you'll agree with. Do you remember when we had Lily of Lily Feeds You on?
Yeah.
And we asked her about red meat, right?
Sure.
And while I was in college, early post-college for you, there was the rhetoric was that red meat is the devil. It will give you cancer. It has all.
Yeah, but you're talking. This is natural human evolution to a certain degree. You know what I mean? I understand that there's fads and trends. You know what I mean? 100%.
But hold on. You'll see where I'm going with this. Now, I would never argue that Taco Bell is good for me. In fact, if I eat a bunch of Taco Bell, I can tell that I feel bad, right?
100%, yeah.
But if I eat a steak, which I so sparingly do, I feel good. My body receives that well, and I feel good eating that.
Okay, but let's also go back to this. I do not feel good when I eat red meat, personally.
Okay, yeah,
I
sure.
still know the importance of some of the things that it provides, and I try to work it in where I can.
And I'm not saying eat a steak every day.
You know what I mean? And I try to get protein in from different things, but like red meat specifically, it's been since I was a kid. It's not even just that I don't like it. It is not just that it like skeeves me out. Those things to a certain degree take place, but like it does not digest well for me. It's it makes me feel really heavy and ill. And I eat it in very small quantities and I fit it in where I can. And I try to get that kind of the stuff that you get from that. I try to get in other places.
I like to eat less than the size of my palm of it. I'm saying we'll split a little tenderloin. A tenderloin, bro.
T-bone, no fucking chance.
I don't think that's the move. If you got a steak that fills up a plate, that's not even what I'm saying. But think about what you consume and how it makes you feel, and have that inform it first and foremost. And if you feel are wrong,
I'm the one over here trying to move my shit into only, and it's hard as hell. But like trying to move it in, I'm really trying to eat only whole foods, and I'm also trying to get away from even buying anything like non-ingredient based things. I want to make it myself. I want to be like, if you want to eat pasta, fine, eat pasta, but you got to make it. You know what I mean? So at least you know what went into it 100%.
Hey, y'all made butter the other day.
Yeah, we've been making butter.
By the way, was stellar. And Abby made bread.
Yeah.
So
so I think that like that like when you get like really good bread, like like a nice. Shout out our friends at Dry Storage.
Shout out Dry Storage down on Arapahoe Avenue here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado. Go pay them a visit.
If you get that bread, you can eat like half of it, and I have, because that sesame bread goes fucking crazy, and I can't not eat it.
It does go crazy.
And I told you I ate the entire top off one myself throughout a day, and then I turned the rest into breadcrumbs, and then made like like I can't think of what they're called. Cutlets, like chicken cutlets with like they're very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that, it doesn't make you feel like shit. I mean,
Yeah.
you still like, I ate a bunch of bread, but like, it doesn't make you feel like garbage because it's processing correctly. You know what I'm saying? And I think that like a lot of like the negative shit is all just processed food. You know
Hey man,
what I mean? And
I'm
I don't
with
know
you.
all that. Look, neither of us should be speaking on this too much because we're both
No, but I can talk
dummies,
about how I
but-
feel. I can talk
Yeah,
about,
100%.
I have that experience and that's true.
But that's what I go back to in the first place is like you have to figure out what's right for you.
Yeah,
And
right
just
on.
because you can eat steak and it doesn't
Yeah.
bother you doesn't mean I can, and it doesn't mean I necessarily have a deficiency that you don't. It just
Mm-hmm.
is a matter of like learning and then taking on what
Mm-hmm.
you can, because it can be like a situation too where what if you are vegan? I fully support whatever you're doing. God bless you, man. That's tough shit.
Yeah, if you-
but
yeah.
like you're probably going to have to take some pills because getting all of that naturally is really difficult and it might not be doable. Maybe not, and maybe even look at it as like it's a bridge until I can figure out how to work this into my diet regularly. Or maybe I'm just like on vacation and I don't have access to everything I normally would.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is. Like when we go to Japan even or something, it's like, well, I'm going to eat much different there than I would
absolutely.
here because
Just
I have
because that's
access to
what's available.
different things,
Sure.
you know? And maybe you're going on a vacation and you guys got a cool ass lake house, but it's out in the middle of nowhere. And you're like, well, fuck, I can't eat my normal spread of stuff. So I'm going to
Yep.
need to take some stuff so I can keep up on my shit. I think if you know what's good for you, and you're kind of being preventative, like I said, and being smart and trying to go natural first, and then making a choice to be like, well, you know, I know that I need this and I'm not going to be able to get it, whether it's now or just it doesn't work for me. Taking a supplement is the thing you should do because at least you're then getting the things that you do need. Because there are that you can say that, of course, all this is backed by people. You know what I mean? Just that you can argue that fucking vegetables and fruits are still a business. You know what I mean? Like
They are.
all of it's a business.
Yeah.
So I think you can make that argument no matter what. But at the same time, like there are certain things scientifically you just do need for health. And most importantly, you know, when you, like if you take fish oil long enough, I really do think that after, especially if it's the, you know, really good kind, you really notice if you're off of it for a little while. You'll be like, oh man, I can really tell that my mood shifts a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I you know, am not on it.
No, I'm
so
with
I think
that.
that's just like, that's something that you can, I mean, that's a positive I'm taking away from
Yeah,
a
sure.
supplement or
And this
something,
is
so.
me not saying that none of
Just to be
it
clear, I don't
is
take
true.
that many even.
No,
if I'm being
no.
honest with you, I mean it's 3 maybe, and I don't take anything regularly necessarily, except for, you know, I think fish oil is probably pretty regular, but beyond that, it's pretty straightforward. I try to get it from. It's obviously if you can get it naturally, that's the way to do it too.
All I'm saying is, and listen, to again clarify, I am not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that I have the information or anything. All I'm saying is I think some of it is some bullshit, and just think about it's a business and somebody's profiting on the other end. So they have margins, they have a supply chain that works for the amount of money they're willing to spend, et cetera, et cetera. So
But out and out ignorance at this point in our life is pretty embarrassing to me because it's like you can easily look this stuff up on the internet and it's written by people that have no stake in any of this shit. You know what I mean? It's just so it's pretty easy to access. Okay, I can do this about anything. You know what I mean?
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
all I'm arguing for is what you're arguing for,
Yeah.
which is consume more whole foods and try to, if you can, try to make it, which leads me into my next thing. I spent Sunday making a big old bowl of chili, big old pot of chili.
Oh God! All this to lead up to be like,
Fucking
and I made
chili's
a bunch
good.
Of chili.
Chili's good for you, bro. Mm-hmm. What do you think cowboys all these years riding horses and shit?
I don't want to be like a cowboy.
Yeah,
everyone acts like that's like the pinnacle. I'm like, of what?
I'm just saying, chili's not bad. At least I'm making it with ingredients that all of them were either like it's a meat product, which unfortunately I don't have bovine to process. It's not. I don't work on a farm.
Do you soak your own beans or?
No, I bought beans and shit from Whole Foods. But hey,
You
my
gotta
man
think.
got me.
Whole Foods, you got to think.
Hey, you got to think about that. But anyway, point being is, you know,
the only point I'm making at this point is that what you're doing to me, you can literally do about
you're
anything.
right. You're
I can do this
absolutely
about
right.
anything.
You're absolutely right. And the right thing to do would have gone to a fucking co-op somewhere locally that grows beans, buy the beans, soak them. That's the right thing to do. If I'm standing on my pedestal,
I'm trying to move into that place of being like, if you can't do that, then don't eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like to get that. This is an extremely idealistic thing that's going to be very difficult to do. And I also have a kid, and trust me, trying to make multiple meals and do all this shit is really hard. And you just try to do your best. You know what I mean? But It's difficult, but like I do want to kind of get away from like then I can't do that, then fine, then I don't have the time to do that, and if I didn't have the time to do it this weekend, then we're gonna have to just eat like more simple, you know what I mean, which is also fine because you can just eat
bowl of rice, some broth, and
some chicken, and
great,
some
fucking awesome
vegetables and shit.
Yeah,
like
love
that.
that.
It's it has to be simpler because that's all you got. So
yeah, so we've talked about this. Listen, I'm a Boz fan. I think her first cookbook, the blue one, has nothing short of 35 recipes that are stellar. Cooked most of them multiple times. I think the red one, she got a little famous. She's kind of fucking annoying at this point. The recipes are good, but not great like the blue one.
Molly Boss still come on the pod?
Molly Boss, you want to come on the pod? I'm not.
She ain't coming on.
She ain't coming on. She's too famous, dude.
I look, I'm in agreement here.
But hold on.
I think that this is the thing. She's I'm trying to think of like a good musician to compare this to, but you know what I'm talking about, where you're like, it's like you can be like, Ariana Grande is weird. She kind of sucks. I'm like, yeah, but she's got fucking hits. She'll land a hit like nobody else. You know what I mean? Just as the deal. And Molly's kind of got the same energy where it's like every once in a while you're like, damn, that's just a good, like easy to make solid recipe, and it flips something on its head that I wouldn't have thought to do.
Even really outside of her cookbooks, we were part of her Patreon for a period of time, and she had a buffalo chicken salad.
You guys were Boz pilled, baby.
We were Boz pilled heavily, bro. We definitely were. And I would say I know 2-3 recipes. I don't need to look at it. I can just make them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Point being, those are quick and easy, meant to have everything in your pantry, whatever. You can just make it, right? You might have to go get 1 or 2 things. And I cooked this chili Sunday. I let it go for 4 to 6 hours, front to back. You know what I mean? And I had a lot of fun with it being an afternoon project and run it for weekend project.
My dream recipe to do is like a bolognese or something.
Yeah.
Anything where you really got to like develop it over a long period of time, but you're not really actively. You're not running 3-4 pots at the same time trying to keep everything. I'm not good at that. I like long. This takes forever. Long process.
And you know what I love to do more than anything is the mise en place. So I'll get all my ingredients cut ahead of time, put them in my nice little Pier 1 Imports ramekins, and I will have it all laid out nicely, diced, pretty, aesthetic, and then I just love that. So I've turned a corner, Timbo.
I think people that are bad at cooking literally are just not doing the mise en place situation.
That, and also
not hard.
It is laziness, which I'm going to cop to here. Again, I am on a weed break, and it might be an indefinite weed break. And I have noticed a change in myself where I am not as lazy as I was. So, funnily enough, that one song about smoking weed and not doing shit. So anyway, point being, I have that Matty Matheson cookbook, and I've read it front to back a couple times because I like the little forwards he puts. I like his long. But the whole point of that cookbook is not for it to be quick and easy to whip up in 45 minutes so you have a full meal. He wants you to be intentional. Go seek these ingredients. Take the time. Prep it. Cook this. Prepare it. You know what I mean? This, that, and the other. So I'm actually really looking forward to that this weekend. That is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to find a recipe that I'm down to spend Saturday doing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like Sunday recipe type of shit where it's just like it's the stuff that takes way longer and you just kind of start in the morning and, you know.
So I want to ask you in regards to this exact topic you mentioned earlier, you wanted to make your own pasta. Do you got a pasta situation or would you...
We've got it all. The most of
you
stuff
have one of those things, you know what I'm saying?
The most stuff that I'd prefer to do is honestly you just form it all by your hands and things like that, as opposed to go through those, because I think those to me never. I mean, they work, but I don't know.
When you make a bolognese, what would be the noodle? A long flat one?
Pappardelle would be my ideal. In the past I would just buy like a nice one. You know what I mean? You buy one of the like.
Yeah, pappardelle. That's what I was thinking. Ooh, man, that looks good. Yeah. Okay, so I would love for you to share noodle recipes and stuff you've got if you've got them.
We'll get it. As I go down this road. Yeah.
Because I'm kind of alongside you, and I will say, ever since we had Akiko on of the Mother Tongue Cookbook, it's also got me spinning my wheels of like, I could put a little more effort in and probably feel a whole lot better.
To eating in general. Yeah, man, I think it's like, I guess my biggest problem is basically like the times of day I'm consuming food. Because I literally, I did eat something today. But like most days I go and maybe I'll have a protein shake or something in the afternoon. But like, I just don't really need food throughout the day. Like I'm not hungry, I don't feel hungry. And then I get hungry at night. And I think it's a lot just because you're busy and like, it's just not really when I want to consume things. I'm not in the mood. And then I eat, when I get home. I cook, and then usually I eat not like a second meal, but I graze then a little bit throughout the evening. Yeah. And it works for me. It doesn't bother me at all. But I don't necessarily know if that's the best thing either. But I don't know if there's any ideal. I think that's more listening to your body type of thing. But I do notice a massive difference when I'm mainly eating like unprocessed food. There's a huge difference in like my skin, in my mood, in my sleeping. So, you know, that's what I'm working on. We've already talked about it, but that's what I'm trying to
Yeah, no,
do.
I love that. I love that. And like I said, I'm right there alongside you. Me and Michelle talk about it quite often. And she didn't really have the problem with smoking weed and being lazy. You know, it's more of a me thing. So it's nice to also not consume 100% of my calories between, 7:45 p.m. and 10:30. And I can tell a difference in my body, dude. I feel better about my body physically. I feel like if I had to run a little bit, I could. You know what I mean? Like maybe younger. I feel maybe even younger. Just shoveling shit in, and like my portion control is better. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, but
You're living life a little less like a teenager.
hey, man.
That's because you're getting older. It starts catching up to you.
Yeah.
All of it. I told you, it's like one day you wake up and you're like, well, I can't drink anymore. I can't eat weird anything. I can't do anything, or there's ramifications.
And I will say, I do feel up until the last 6 months, maybe a year, I had never felt affected, if you will, by what I
told
eat.
You, I'm not joking. It's like
in
overnight.
recent years, I've noticed it, how food makes me feel, or that maybe I'm not as indestructible as my body felt. And I think at this point, I now have the brain space to think. And so I'm going to. So anyway, this is a real self-deprecating episode for Old Cheddar. So,
well, it's because you're doing new things. So it's a new
Trying,
chapter.
man.
You're
Trying,
shedding the
man.
old skin. I gotta. I forgot that I wanted to give you a little update on the gym guy.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Gym guy. Just a reminder, this is the fella who has the X's tattooed hard in big font on his hands.
Yep.
And I've never seen him do anything else still. He only does the sit down cycling machine. He was watching Emily in Paris. A couple days later.
Yeah.
This is what he was doing. He's back to his same business, but he was watching. I think it has a different name, but I think it's like basically Vampire Diaries. It might be it has something to do with like vampires and not Charmed, something newer. This is a recent.
And not Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No.
Yeah.
Recent. I don't know what it is, but I thought it was like Vampire Diaries or something.
That
So he's onto a
sounds
whole
like it's right.
new thing, but he kind of has sort of a genre he's living inside
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
I watched him. He's looking at his thing. He's looking at Vampire Diaries. The episode finishes. He like lifts it up, changes apps, goes to Spotify. He's listening to a new Throwdown record.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So he moved directly from Vampire Diaries into new. It had to be like a new release Throwdown record.
Yeah,
I thought
dude.
this guy's nuts.
It's crazy.
This guy is
dude.
absolutely living. He does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Doesn't care.
No.
I love him.
Yeah. Should we get him on the pod?
I gotta talk to him at some
You
point.
just gotta be like, listen, man. Listen, this is gonna sound weird. I've been keeping up on your lore, and the
needs
character
to-
that you're building is crazy.
I can't do that. He needs to have like a T-shirt on or something. I'd be like, "Yo,"
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he has the X's on his hand. That's probably good enough.
That would be
but-
a massive opening, because
Yeah.
you know what I could do is be like, hey, dude, check this out. I got a huge X on my foot. You know what I mean?
Well, you've got an opening. You
Yeah.
should come with me.
Yeah. That could be interesting.
I don't have any,
Yeah.
so I got nothing to show him.
Yeah. Hey,
like we used to.
real quick,
I gave up when I was 20.
I gave up when I was
I was probably younger than
I committed for 4 or 5 years, and I took it real seriously.
I was never
silliness.
committed hard enough to even probably be claiming anything.
Hey
other than
man, I
listening
think
to the
you just
music.
make a decision that feels good for yourself.
Well, that's not how they feel, but I hear you.
Yeah.
That's a nice version of your straight edge.
I'm saying no.
different than I.
Post straight edge. That's my takeaway.
Sure.
Is
Sure.
just maybe
Yeah.
if you feel like you should do something for yourself, it doesn't have to be part of a clique or a brand. It can
But
be
if I
something
told you
that do
directly
for
after
yourself.
getting that tattoo, you might give me a little different answer.
I would have felt different. Yeah, 100%. Hey, this made me think of something. I'm about to wrap up the Bear, and one shout out Mick G being in the beginning of one of the episodes, or that tune starting out. One of the episodes.
Yeah.
And dude, that shit is so intoxicatingly good. That dude is so fucking talented.
Yeah, the new song's good too.
I want to listen to that. But the Bear, they're spinning some Counting Crows on. Are you familiar that
Yeah, I know
this shit's
Counting Crows.
bangers? I
Yeah,
had
I mean,
thought
there's
it
a
was
lot of
music I listened to my dad's car when I was fucking 7 because it was on the radio. But there was a song that either began or ended an episode towards the end of season 3, and I want to find it. And I was like, this is legitimately good. This is pop punk kind of.
I love that. It's pop punk.
You know?
I love the idea of like the day Rich Homie dies, you find the Counting Crows. Tomorrow you pull up, you're listening to Blues Traveler or something. Like, what the fuck's he gotten into?
I just think
Yeah,
that
I mean,
I
it's good
blanket
hitters,
thought
dude, yeah.
it wasn't good, and I'm not saying that I think it's revolutionary or anything. I just think it's one of those things where like I just think it's good.
They're
Hey,
popular for a reason.
on that note too, there were some Nine Inch Nails tunes that were playing, or you know how we're a Subtitles family, which I believe you are as well, right?
Of course, I'm not.
And it'll
crazy.
say, such and such by Nine Inch Nails playing. I have not actively ever in my entire life listened to a moment of a Nine Inch Nails song. That's not me bragging. It's me saying I have no context for what Nine Inch Nails is. I thought it was nu metal a la Slipknot. Am I wrong?
I think it got lumped into that category.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like Deftones do, and like not in
A
in
great
the same
band that
way,
I loosely understand.
kind of like not completely out of the question. They dressed like them. I mean, I guess Trent Reznor is probably doing a little bit more of a Rick Owens, Marilyn Manson kind of deal. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Chico was. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I think that like they all get lumped into the same category, probably for the right reason, just because of a time period.
Yeah.
But I think there were some, a la Deftones, a la Nine Inch Nails, where you're like, oh, you're doing something a little bit broader
Yeah.
than what everyone else is. Like it's more influence. There's more influence that's happening.
Did Nine Inch Nails do the quote unquote score for the Bear, or are these songs that are part of their
No.
catalog that are being
I think
played? Because there
it-
was some like think more instrumental,
Yeah.
not ambient, but more like
But Nine Inch
looping
Nails, there's
instrumental
a lot
type.
of that type of thing happening.
Well, if you're listening and you're in
No,
the
they
Discord
didn't-
specifically,
Maybe I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong. I think we would know if I think I would know if they scored the Bear. I don't think they scored the Bear.
okay. Well, there were two songs
They've scored
in
a lot of
particular.
great things, just to be clear. But
Because I thought I heard about, again, I don't know Nine Inch Nails. I would know the name Trent Reznor. I would know that he's of Nine Inch Nails, but I wouldn't know his situation. But there were two tunes, or maybe one tune in particular, I'm thinking of.
I could be wrong.
That it was a longer shot or scene, and it was definitely like a more like looping melodic, either piano or guitar track playing, and I was like, if this is what it sounds like, count me in.
Some, not all.
Yeah.
Some of it has more. Like there is more lyrical stuff happening, but but not all of it, and some of it you'd probably like also, especially if you watch back some of those old performances and shit, like they're pretty wild.
Yeah. I think it's something that I've kind of never given a real opportunity because it just felt like such a thing.
See, I think
I didn't want to feel like a poser because I don't know it, but
I think it's like it leans. All the bands we've kind of just mentioned sort of have this like industrial lean to them.
Yeah.
And
Industrial is a good word.
That's a little bit of a lean that I struggle with, actually. I don't love it. I don't love when the sound is that like dark tinge, to be honest with you, personally. But it doesn't mean that like there isn't like, it's kind of like saying that every genre has good artists. It's just about like which ones you're choosing to listen to. You know what I mean? Like country has great artists. It's not all garbage.
yeah,
But there's a
MJ
shitload of
Lenderman is a
garbage.
fucking stellar country artist.
Yeah, I think that's like I mean, I don't know if that's
I was
how he'd
partially
want to be
joking, but-
categorized
Yeah,
as that,
that's
but
what I
like,
was-
I mean, obviously if you're using slide guitar, I mean, not slide guitar, I can't think of what it's called, that big old machine.
Yeah.
It's going to have a certain vibe to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Anyway, I've been directionless in this. I've just kind of been yapping, but if you are a Nine Inch Nails person, which there's a lot of people out there,
There
please
has
send
to-
me some shit because I would love to. I would
Yeah,
love to
dude.
get hip to whatever I thought I heard.
there has to be like a playlist on Spotify or something that's like their more ambient leaning kind of stuff. Plus, a lot of their scores are cool to listen to too. You know, I mean, the Social Network
And like,
is so good. And
listen, like Explosions in the Sky is a massive band, but I do like a lot of that shit. And
do you want the ambient? If you're listening to ambient, do you want it to be more like cinematic like that? Is that what you're looking for? Or do you want something
no,
quieter?
I'd actually say not. I'd say more looping, more repetition, more building on that then just kind of continues. You know, there was a band that I really liked called Giants, and I think that record was called Old Vessels, and I want to say they're from Iowa. But that would be a little bit more like Explosion in the Sky, a little more cinematic, but I do like that record too. But I don't need it to be a large crescendo with a drop off and this, that, and the other. I like when the sound resolves itself nicely and it kind of loops. I really like that.
I've been listening a lot because I've been very into ambient music, and I've been listening to this guy. I pulled it up, so I'm going to still probably mess up the pronunciation. Masakatsu Takagi, I think, is the Masakatsu Takagi. He is an artist that was doing some like broader stuff, and then started getting into ambient. He like moved into like rural Kyoto, and he makes like ambient music, and they're all improvised like piano pieces, but he does it with all the windows in his house open, so you hear like it's really well mic'd, so you can hear like, you know, if it's storming or raining, you hear that. If it's like, if there's like birds and stuff, you hear that. And then he just does this very loose, you know, piano playing, and I'm very into that right now.
Timbo, that sounds exactly up my alley.
Yeah, really good.
I will listen to that on my way to my final night of bowling league after we wrap up this podcast.
That's the way to get psyched up for bowling, is these very like, you know, improvised.
That's fun though. That's exciting.
I'll give you the one to listen to, because there's he does like, and they're entire albums, and it'll be based on like a certain time or whatever it is.
Cool.
But they're really great.
Cool.
I've been listening to them a lot.
We talked in that regard of picking up, you know, room noise, and it's something that I always love about the microphones. The Glow Part 2 is you hear Phil walking back into the room after pressing record in the other room, etc. Remember how we were, you know, we're talking about shooting videos and stuff for some stuff that we're releasing later this fall, and I was like, Timbo, I would love, because we talked about having maybe some bird noises or something, or just general, and
so much harder.
It's hard, huh?
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the act of it's not hard. It's just knowing the right mics to use and how to like. It's. I've taken I've done a few attempts with different microphones and different setups and stuff. It's not easy. First of all, you don't realize how much, like, you know, I'll go hiking around my place, you know what I mean? And like, you know, I can get up into kind of nowhere into the mountains relatively quickly. Yeah. You can still hear car sounds when you put on a really heavy mic on things. And so you don't realize how much sound you're not realizing you're hearing. You know
that is a background noise.
Yeah. And it's really fun and interesting, but like to get like really clean sounds that you can really elevate and like use inside of music is surprisingly difficult.
Yeah. It's for some reason has piqued my interest since we
I agree with you. I'm not going to give up on it. I need to get a whole rig is the reality. And then I got to make some special trips to do like walks and stuff to get the right stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nothing's more frustrating when you like get everything set up and then the wind comes and messes it all up, or somebody walks past, or you know what I mean? It's like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So trust me. Yeah. I'll figure it out, and then I'll get you into it.
Okay.
Let me figure it out.
Well, and that's the thing is, I admittedly when I said I would do that, and then my next thing would be like, "Hey, you guys have gear I could borrow."
Stuff I have? Yeah, so I'm still figuring it out, but I've been trying to work it into some things I'm doing.
Should we do some housekeeping?
Yeah, I mean, people really loved that the Vic episode we put out last week.
Oh man, yeah, I got texts from a local fella. I won't say the names. A local fella, and then an out of the country fella. Both just beaming like, "Holy shit, are you serious?" Yeah. So that was fun.
Shout out! She just got like shouted out by a bunch of places as being like, you know, the like three different places I saw on her Instagram that she was getting posted for. Like,
good for her.
Really up and coming shit, and
good for her.
It's so cool. Yeah.
So if you haven't listened to the Vic Michaelis episode and you like comedy, you like you know, general fuck around, it was a real pleasure. Yeah. So go show some love.
Yeah, so great. So and then people really didn't like our Oasis takes, but we knew that was coming. So
it's fine. I stand by it. Yeah. Nobody's changed my mind.
Yeah.
So unless I see a photo of you 15 years ago in an Oasis tee.
Well, here's the only thing I don't accept is when people send me pictures like, look, the outfits are cool. And I'm like, I know. That's great. That's not what I'm you know what I mean? Like, that's cool. I'm glad, you know, they've got the money to make it happen. They can hire a stylist. They maybe don't have a stylist and they're just doing their thing. Very cool outfits. That's not the argument.
That's not what we're talking about.
That's not the argument. That's not the argument. I just don't. And I know they've got a couple hits. Okay. But like these guys get treated like the Beatles, and that's, you can like the Beatles or not like the Beatles, but Beatles had infinite hits. You don't now. You'll hear something at some point in your life and go, oh fuck, maybe I didn't get it. Like I would have told you up and down, like, oh, Beatles are fine. That, you know, they've got some songs. I like McCartney's like solo records. I don't like the other stuff. Harrison's fucking up his own ass, and I got all these opinions on him. And I'm a Kinks guy, and I'd still say most of that's true. But then I was like, when that documentary came out, the extended version during COVID that they put on Apple, and you get to watch them like make the music kind of like in real time, all these like recordings, and you're like, fuck, these guys, that they're insanely talented, so much more than other, like just the way that they, how they handled it, how they handled songwriting, the way they talked things, how cool they were. I didn't realize how cool everybody like looked and acted, and it was like, oh fuck, man, they're kind of real deal, you know, like,
yeah.
And obviously they're the Beatles, but you know, it was one of those things where I just never connected with it, and then you connect with it at some point and go, what you doing with the Counting Crows, where it's like,
oh, I'm not connecting with it. I'm just saying, I heard a tune,
yeah,
and I was like, I didn't know this was so catchy and.
But that's what I'm saying.
Good.
Is like sometimes things hit you at a different time, and you're like, shit, now I get it. You know what I mean? And maybe that'll happen with me and Oasis. Mm-hmm. But I know the songs. They're not the Beatles. They're not the Rolling Stones. They're not even the Kinks. They just got like some tunes.
Yeah.
You know, so does Dave Matthews. Yeah. People really are not going to like that. But like, that's kind of the energy to me. It's like, yeah, I guess they got this like crazy fan base that I don't really understand what it's about, much like Dave Matthews. And they've got some tunes that I'm hit in here, and you're like, I get it.
And
cool.
The overarching point we're trying to make here is, if you
I just don't
have that connection, why are you faking it? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I just don't.
You don't have to.
You don't have to wear the T-shirt. You know what I mean?
Just say you like the band.
You don't have to.
But you don't have to feign having a history or a love affair with this band.
Yeah.
Because what you listen to only matters to you anyway. So
we don't care.
I don't fucking care.
I just want you to be true to yourself. In a person who's like, dude, let me tell you everything about the Counting Crows. And I'd be like, tell me about them.
Damn,
dude.
okay, yeah.
And if that's how you truly feel about Oasis, we're not discrediting anything. Yeah. God bless you.
Yeah,
if you've been in,
I'm not coming for you.
You're
I'm
mad
for
like
the
I am about the new ones too.
Exactly,
so that's who I'm siding with. The OGs, the real OGs, the real freaks out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think Title Fight's better than Oasis. So
yeah. Go listen to Shed front to back about 400 times.
All Oasis albums together to me.
Yeah. We've been. I told you. I don't know if I talked about it on the pod. Me and Michelle restrung an old acoustic that I have, old Ibanez. She cleaned it up and we restrung it. And
you're learning Don't Look Back in Anger.
I've been having fun trying to remember old little 1-2s that I learned back in the day, and this and that and the other.
You like played when you were younger?
Yeah. I was never in a band or anything, you know, but so many of my friends were, and so I kicked it a lot when they would quote unquote jam, etc. I knew little 1-2s, little these and that's, you know, moments of a song, just enough to catch what it is, and it's fun, you know. So we've been having fun with that, but
like, do you know chords? Like if I said play a G,
no,
no.
I can read tabs and I can figure out little, you know what I mean, but I don't know chords, and in fact, chords are not what I can do.
Interesting.
My fingers don't do that, but I can learn a tab like "Safe in Your Skin," you know, that tune from Shed. So I can learn little things like that. But anyway, we've been listening to some Title Fight and some stuff of that era. Do you know that tune "Dream Catchers"? It came out on like a floppy 7-inch before record. And,
yeah. I mean, I have the MP3.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I believe it was a 7-inch, one-sided, that was on like a floppy vinyl. You know what I mean? Like you could fold it over and crush it if you wanted. Anyway, love that shit. So,
well, I don't know where. I actually don't know where we are.
Let's do some housekeeping.
We
got some stuff that's coming in. It has come in.
We've announced all the collabs at this point, more or less, right? Yeah, we have. Well, no. There's still one secret one actually. Little secret guys hanging out. But
we did announce.
We talked about engineered garments and beams.
Yes. Okay.
EG is going to happen a little sooner than we thought.
It appears so, huh?
I think so. I think we're looking at October, hard October release.
I was cooking up some paraphernalia today for it. We did some conceptualizing this morning.
Sounds dirty. What you're saying.
Well, because I said it would come. And so I'm really excited about it. I've got a little thing cooked up. Showed you. I've got some ideas around it, but yes, I'm very excited. It does appear that we're going to be able to kind of get the ball rolling a little sooner than we thought. In one way or another. We haven't solidified anything, but just so since you're here, it's coming down the pipeline. Excited about that. The Beams collab, we have some other samples that are getting ready, so excited about that. And then we have another collab that we will probably tease once we
can tease that one.
Go ahead.
I got to think about how to do it. Well, I got to think of how to do it.
Yeah, let's make sure we give it the love it deserves, because I'm fucking stoked.
I don't know why we're delayed on that one, but we'll.
Brandon, if you're listening, love you, dog.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Fine, you go back and listen to Brendan when
if you can do the fucking work, then go ahead.
Mental gymnastics, you figured it out. What else is going on? We got a lot of new stuff. Harrell is finally here, baby.
Harrell has landed. We have been stoked, and we have been talking that into the ground. We're really psyched for Harrell.
Yep.
We've got Frismworks finally delivered after playing the fuck round game.
Yep.
We got 31 boxes of Frismworks. We got Lady White Seasonal has landed in a big way. I don't know if it's 100%, because when they hit us with the shipping,
maybe end of day tomorrow, it'll be online. Maybe.
Okay, cool. So that's photograph that'll go up. So by the time I've listened to this. What else we got? Do you want to talk about the little 1-2 we got this afternoon? A little merch hit, or do we want to keep that a secret?
Ooh. Let's keep that one a secret.
Okay, because I thought we might keep it on ice for a moment.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if we're gonna maybe. I don't know. We'll probably
when you see it, you'll know. Yeah. But a little merch hit, a little accessory for you to have, a little thing for maybe to have around your house. We have another shipment of Orslo is about ready. They hit us either yesterday or today, gave us the rundown of the SKUs. It's around the same in size as the last one. I would assume similarly. Some restock, some new, seasonal.
Yeah, shout out that Model 66.
You guys love yours, that.
But get in there quick.
Based after a 1966, Timbo, tell me if I'm wrong, but 67 was the first year of the 505, correct?
Listen, I don't want to. There's probably some Levi's nerds in here that are going to correct me, but 66505 was a certain model that has kind of a more curved hip, a little bit more room in the top block, taper but not much. You know what I mean? Still kind of a straight leg, but just a little shape to it. Really comfortable, great fitting pant. 67, the 505 kind of took that shape's place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And became that's the more standardized version of it. 67505 is that was the first raw denim I ever had, from LVC, and then that's been continually. I'm wearing 505s right now. Almost every jean in my closet outside of the new Harrells I just got is a 505, and quite frankly, the Harrells fit like a 505.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that's all I wear. It's just kind of the perfect all the time jeans. So it's very similar to that.
The 66 in particular, you're looking for a pair of jeans that has a nice roomy top block. You're not going to feel constricted. They're not hyper baggy. They're not slim skinny either. They are just kind of really wearable pair of jeans.
Yeah, to me, it will fit everyone in a flattering way, no matter if you're
Agreed.
a big old string bean or you're a little squatty, whatever you got going. It just fits really nicely because you have all the room up top, and then you have a nice flattering silhouette on the leg.
So the gang you that ordered and about cleared us out in over the weekend. I hope you dig them. I want to see some maybe some fade photos, something like that. So Orslo, we just got a restock of Margin as well. I don't even know if you know that. You were in meetings all day. Margin came, got that shit restocked. It's on the site live. I just went ahead and put it live. We got a bunch
stuff. If you want to do skincare and you don't want to think about it at all, that's the way. You get both of those things. Don't think at all. It's the way to go. It's the way to go.
The beauty industry is a scam. Margin isn't. Go buy some Margin. So, Asics. Got a bunch of Asics.
Coming from the man that has to put more sunscreen on his body than I've ever seen, because otherwise you look like a beet.
Salmon would be the color.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, an uncooked salmon. Yeah.
Yeah, uncooked. Man, that shit bangs. I get those little salmon fillets from Whole Foods, frozen ones. Love.
The refrigerator industry is gonna get you though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else, dog? Is there nothing else that is en route? But I would reckon by the end of next week we're gonna have plenty more shit.
Hold on now, because I think that we might be a little bit wrong on that. Let's see. We still have a shitload of Lightning magazines on the way.
Yeah.
We've got second delivery of Taiga here really soon. We've got what's things we haven't mentioned. Aura-Lee should be on the way any moment. First delivery of that. Our Legacy just hit me with a big old movement that's happening.
Hell yeah.
So we've got some good shit on the way too.
You said Aura-Lee. Is it entirety?
No, it's like half of it.
Okay.
First
There's
delivery,
a fellow
yeah.
waiting for that leather jacket in particular. I'm just saying this
I'd
out loud. If you are him, shoot me an email.
I don't remember. I have the list, but I don't remember what was on it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool.
I'd have to take a look.
Cool.
But I will.
Cool. So yeah, man, we're in a good spot. I'm excited. I'm really excited, actually. We had a meeting yesterday about some ideas that we can do as well. Just random ideas. You've been having it with the staff. The stuff we talked about, I've put more thought into, so I'd like to circle back around on that. But I think there's a lot of fun things that Canoe Club would like to do for the gang.
Yeah, pretty much for the rest of the year, every month's kind of a banger. So there's something going on.
So come see us. Go to Dry Storage. Get some onigiri.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else on your agenda?
No. You know what? In fact, Michelle and I were going to go to the movies tomorrow night. But man, there's not shit planned.
Or you just want to go to the movies in general?
Yeah, we just want to go to the movies.
It's not a great time for movies right
now.
No,
So we're gonna not. We're just gonna go for a little dinner date instead. But I do want to go to the movies. But man, there's not shit.
Yeah, it's just kind of like to me, it's a little bit of a time of year thing. It'll switch over here pretty soon. But yeah, it's like
getting into holiday. That is when the better movies come out.
Yeah, this is a little bit of like a hold period where there's not as much going on. Like, it's not as many releases. It kind of feels like, but there's been a lot of like cool trailers and different things of like upcoming things that have been getting like press because of all the festivals.
Here,
and stuff.
can we do a recommends and then we sign off
there? Yeah. I don't have something off the top, so you go first. But
I recommend
something.
If y'all are ready for a roller coaster ride and you haven't seen it and maybe you're not familiar with it, don't even watch a trailer because the trailer isn't going to give you shit. Go watch Kinds of Kindness. It's on Hulu. It's a triptych, so it's 3 stories that don't relate but are of a similar feel and nature. It's just one of those ones where you're going to finish up that cinematic experience and being like, whoa, you know what I mean? So go watch Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah. As of this releasing, new MJ record's out actually. So just listen to that. New MJ
hell
Lunderman.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna listen to that actually on my way in.
We should get him on the pod actually. He's gonna.
You think we can?
Be in town. I don't know. He's a busy guy, but maybe.
Maybe we can get connected.
We always say that, like,
guest.
I don't think they'll do it, and then they do it. So who knows? Yeah, I think that's probably what I don't have anything like super specific right now. Hey, what did you this is a funny thing I just thought of. When you see like someone write like all capital letters FTW, what is that?
Fuck the world.
Okay.
Or for the win.
So here's the thing. I always thought it was fuck the world. And there would be times where I would read it and go, kind of a weird thing to say at the end,
No.
You know?
But also
like it would be like
for the win.
Amy Poehler, FTW. I'd be like, why is she fucking the world? You know what I mean?
But
like,
is it for the win? Is
I
that
don't
what they're-
know. I think that's
It's for the win would be
saw
the
it-
nerdy way of
Somebody
the nerdy
said it
thing,
recently
yeah.
like that, and I was like, am I just an idiot that just logged that in my head as fuck the world? Is that even a thing?
It's not for the record. It's not.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would say in the context of Amy Poehler FTW, it's Amy Poehler for the win.
See, the thing is, I saw it like in that context, and maybe I just saw it in that context for the first time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear you say it that's what you thought it was, because I thought when I first read it, when I first realized it was the other thing, I was like, well, shit, did I just make the other version up in my head?
Yeah.
If we both made it up in the same dumb way,
Brondo.
then we're gonna end the podcast.
Yeah.
We can't keep putting out our dumb knowledge into the world.
Yeah.
But I saw it the other day, and I got pretty cracked up alone, being like, "There's no way I just made that up in my head." Because if so, I've been reading a lot of Twitters weirdly.
Yeah.
Well,
So
anyway, that's just a little thought I had in the other day. Okay, I don't have anything else. That was it.
Canoe Club FTW.
Whatever that
For the
means
win,
to
bro.
you, baby.
It's been a pleasure, Brondo.
Okay. Good luck at bowling tonight.
Thank you, brother. It's the end of the league, so just
What
got to
is
go
that-
say bye to the boys.
What does that mean? That's it? You're just gonna roll?
I think
you're gonna roll
they'll
for
announce
fun?
prize for whoever won. We did not win. We kind
Shit.
of got smacked the last 3 weeks, and then there's going to be some random competitions of some sort. I'm not sure what they are. We'll see.
Yeah, probably a pretty exciting football weekend too, right?
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is. And yeah,
Your eyes.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is. Tonight we got Chiefs Ravens. I got
Yeah,
Pacheco
hell
on my
yeah.
dynasty
Hell
team.
yeah.
And hell yeah.
I was literally debating shutting it off again.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Bye.